morning. Welcome to Ellie Moon Arts. My name's Fiona and today we're going to do another box. This time I'm making it for a totally different reason. So I'm going to show you, I think it's in this one. So this is the size, we're going to make this size. There's 3 boxes that we're going to do. So what I've got in here are some, these are ones that I've prepared, that are prepped ready to go. These are artist trading cards. These are a couple that I've made. Nothing spectacular, just a few bits and bobs that I've put in there for a gift for somebody. So I think the idea of these were originally for putting like ATCs into artist trading cards. But I've also come up with another idea that I like. I made a heap of these little mini gift cards. They each have a little envelope that goes with them. And we will make one of these as well a bit later on. And we'll go through all the measurements for that. But essentially today we're going to make this box. This box measures, let me have a look. Where's my ruler gone? There it is. So this box measures 4 inches long, if I remember rightly, 4 inches long by 2 inches wide and 3 inches across. So 3 by 4 by 2. Very handy to have. They stack really well. These are really sturdy. I've actually made these out of 280 gram, what they call it, 280 GSM cardstock. So we've got white. So the first box we're going to make is this middle size. Before we go on to that, I might show you the other ones that we're going to make. We're going to make one that's a smaller size. So this one I think is just one inch. Yep, this one's 1 inch wide. The other measurements are the same. It's just the depth that's different. And we're also going to make one that is this size, which is obviously much, much bigger. And this one I do have some of my artist trading cards in that have been sent to me over the time. So, whoops, I'll pop them back in there. I haven't decorated this box yet and finished that one off, but I just wanted to be able to show you what I did with mine. So we're going to be making this box. Today we're going to be using Blues by You design paper from Couture Creations. We are also going to be using the Butterfly by Blues by You, also their decorative corner, and we're going to use one of the, this is from the Hello Stamp and Die. We're just going to use one of the sentiments out of it for the inside of our card. Here are some of the butterflies and that I made earlier in another video, and I'll link this video in here as well, because some of these I did use to make some of the cards. So let's move on. So this is our cutting guide. For this in particular middle-sized box, you're going to need 2 pieces of white cardstock, as heavy as you think you're going to need it. And it's going to measure 9.5 by 7.5. Okay, so that's the first bit. So we've got our 2 pieces here. These are actually both scored the same way, exactly the same way. So the scoring guide for these, you're going to put the short side, this side, into yours. I'll just scrub it out so you can have a look. So we're going to grab our scoreboard. We're going to put our short side in. We're going to score it 2 inches, and then we're going to flip it around and we're going to score it 2 inches again. Then we're going to put our long side up. We're going to go this way. I'm going to score it 1.5 inches. We're going to score it 3.5 inches. Flip it around, and then we're going to score at 2 inches. So this is on the 9.5 inch side. This is our 7.5 inch side. So we need 2 of those, and they're both scored exactly the same way. Okay, so I will put my little diagram back up for you to have a look at. So the reason I'm putting this diagram up is because it has a lot of other details on it. So when we cut out these, there's two different cutting patterns for this in particular box. So this one, I'm going to cut out the 3 across the top. Then we're going to, what we also want to do is we want to cut out these lines here. So you know our score lines, these score lines, we want to actually cut those score lines out, but we want to do it fairly straight. And then we're going to cut this square off as well, once we've done all of those. And then this bottom one, we're going to cut up these lines. We're just going to take those score lines out again. That's our first one. On our second one, which is this one here, you'll see that I've written on it, well, I've actually written on this one too. So this piece here, our first piece that we're going to do, that is our front, and these are our 2 sides. Now let me have a look. Yeah. So this is actually the front of our box and the 2 outsides of our box. And this is the bottom of our box. This will be the one that goes on top. On this one, we've got our, oh, no, front on that, it should be back. Sorry. So this is the back of our box. These are the 2 sides that'll go inside. This is the bottom that'll go inside. And this all helps to strengthen our box. And this is the top and the top flap. So you'll have, this is the top here, this is the flap here. And you can sort of play with the size of the flap. I've just left mine as is. So let's go ahead and start cutting these. Let's grab my scissors. So at the bottom, let me look at my diagram. Yep, on this one. So on this one, we're going to cut these 2 on the bottom. So where the 2 lines are at closest to the top, that's the top of your box. This is the bottom of your box with just the 1 2-inch line at the bottom. So I'm just going to cut out this score line on both sides. And I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to do it on the hill and not the valley so that I can see it better. So just gently take that hill out. That's the first bit. I'm going to take this hill out as well. Oops, that's a bit silly. Okay. Okay, so that's our first bit done. This is the bottom of our box. Now we're going to work on the top of our box, which is this bit here. So we already know that we're going to take this score line out totally across here because that's all 3. So that's on our 1.5-inch line. And if you want to, you can do this on your trimmer. I use my trimmer just to cut down the A4 pieces of cardstock for this project. I'm just going to move that piece out the way because I'll use it later on. Now we've got this one. Now with this one, we need to cut out these score lines again. So once again, I'm going to flip it over to where our hills are on our score line. And this also makes it just a little bit easier to see, though not great on this end. The other end was a bit better. So once again, we're just going to snip out that score line on both sides. Okay. And then I'm going to fold these 2 down. And I'm going to cut off this score line here. Okay, so now this matches this piece. So this is our first piece that we've done. Now let's move on to our second piece. So we know that with the 2 lines at the top, that's the top of our box. And with this one, we're sort of making a bit of a cross. So we're going to cut out these 2 top corners, and I'm just going to be careful and just cut out those score lines as we go. Just gently cut them out. There's one. And cut out this one as well. And just across here. Okay, so that's our top piece looking the same, and now we need these two bottom corners. So I need to have a look at my other one. Let me see for a second. So these are our bottom ones. Now we're going to cut these ones out. That's right, that's on the other one I did that. So just going to cut these score lines out and cut both these pieces off. You could leave these two pieces on and just cut them up like we did with the last one. It will help to make your box a little sturdier, but it's not a necessity. So this is the bottom of our box. So this is the inside bottom. Okay, so let's grab our bone folder and just fold all our lines. And then we'll put this box together. And this one. And let's do the same with this one. Just fold all those score lines. Okay. So this one goes like so. So this is the, and then this one, we're going to fold this bottom piece up because it's going to go inside the box, and these two outer pieces are going to go inside the box. There's our flaps down and the top of our box. So now it's just a matter of gluing it all together, or you can use tape runner, totally up to you. I'm going to use a bit of glue for mine. So let's do this piece first, so that we know that we're going to have to put glue on here. Just bring it down a little bit lower if I can, just so you can see exactly what's going on here. Oh, I might need a pin to unblock this one a little bit. Okay. So this glue that I'm using is Couture Creations All-Purpose Art Glue. One of my favourite glues to use because it just works really well. You don't need a lot of it. I think I've just done that on the wrong side. Hold on a minute. Get a damp cloth and just wipe that bit of glue off. So that was my fault. Got to do that on this flap, on this side. So you want to do it on the outside of the flap. Okay, we're going to flip that across, pop this piece up, line up our sides, so they're nice, and I'm just going to grab my bone folder and I'm just going to give that a bit of a smush in there, and we're going to do the same with this one. So I'm going to put it on the inside fold, oh, sorry, the outside fold, but it's going to go inside the box. I hope that made sense for you all then. I'm just going to bring it up and line it up with the side of our box. Let's make sure that's nice and square. Come in with our bone folder and give it a good smush on there again. So this is the front of our box. Now with this top panel here, I'm actually going to round the corners because I like the look of that. So I'm just going to bring this up this way a bit, pop it into our large corner rounder. I'm just going to round those corners. So this is the Couture Creations Corner Punch, and this is the large size. We've got large, medium and small. I think I've got a medium one somewhere, but I don't really use it very often. I'm maybe going to use the large or the small one. So now we're going to work on these pieces. So the first piece we're going to do is the inside bottom. So okay, I'm going to pop that like that, and we're just going to slot it inside our box like so, and then smush it down. is what you're going to have. That's what it's going to look like. Let me smush that side down a bit better. Okay. Now I'm going to do inside the sides of the box, and these will be going inside, internally on the box. And I'm going to actually glue both sides at the same time, put glue on both sides at the same time to make it a little easier for it to go in. Okay, let's glue on both sides. Let's push it up. I'm going to move these ones back. Push these ones up into place. Grab your sides and just pinch them into place. Same with this one. Just sort of pinch it into place. And tip it on its side and put your bone folder in and give it a good smush. Make sure it's nice and flat. And there is the actual box itself made. I'm going to actually round these front corners as well, so I'll grab out, I think it's about a 10mm corner punch, this one. Okay, so there's the top of our box already done. Now the next thing we are going to need is some design paper. So today we're using the Blues by You design paper from Couture Creations, and the sizes you're going to need for the two sides, you're going to need 1 7/8 of an inch by 3 7/8. So let me just see, where did I put those other ones that I had set up for this? Right, there they are. I'll just do it on here. So this is the top, this is the front flap of the box. So you can make yours a little shorter if you like, but I wanted mine a little bit longer. As you can see, this one's a lot longer than the actual box itself. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there, actually. Might trim off a little bit on the top and try and match it up to that. Might get my trimmer out in a moment and we'll sort this out. So what have we got this at? So this is 1.5 inches wide. And I think I've got this at 2 3. I've got 1 3/8, so I think I might just change the size of this a little bit to fit with that. Yeah, I've got 2 7/8 and 1 7/8, and I need and I'm going to go with 1 7/8 again. So I'll just do that now. Quickly grab up my paper trimmer, chop this down to 1 7/8. No, that's what that is. Let's take it down to 1.5 then. So I'm going to take it to 1.5. That looks a bit better. So we're going to have 2 7/8, which is the length, and by 1.5. So let's change those measurements. 1.5. And I'll change that when I write this up as well. Okay, so that should fit on here nicely now. Actually could have a little bit more sort of trimmed off it, but might just take that down a little bit further. Let me see what we've got. Maybe 1 1/4, maybe 1 3/8. Let's see, here we go, 1 3/8. That better? Yeah, that's perfect. 1 3/8. So we've got, let's change that measurement again to, let's go 1 3/8. So 2 7/8 by 1 3/8 is what we're after for the flap on our box. We're going to have it this way. So I'm just going to round the corners at the bottom so that they match with the closure part of our box. So sometimes this has to be done by trial and error. I can't remember what I did with the other ones. Okay, so that's perfect as far as I'm concerned. Let's grab our glue and we're going to glue this onto the front flap of our box. Okay, just going to center it on our box. Give that a good swish down. Okay. So I'm just going to change that measurement here as well so that I don't forget. Sides, front flap. And we went with 1 and... I'm going to put that 1 3/8. 3/8. There we go. So that's the front. Now we're going to look at this is the top. You can actually do 2 of these if you'd like. You could actually put 1 of these on the bottom. I've just done 1 for this one, and it measures 2 7/8 by 1 7/8. So let's, once again, we're going to pop this on. Let's put in some Couture Creations Art Glitter Glue on. Okay. We want it that way. So we're just going to pop that on the top of our box. You could do this in, if you've got a nice strong heavy craft paper or craft card stock, you could do it in that as well. So now we're going to look at the 2 sides. So our 2 sides are 1 7/8 by 3 7/8. That one will go there. This paper is so pretty, it doesn't really matter which side you put on, which side you put up, I mean. They're both really, really pretty. Okay, let me just smush that over a bit. There we go. I'm just going to put my bone folder inside there and just smush it on there so that it gets really good contact. Let's flip over to our other side. I'm going to put this one, do it that way. And we're going to put this piece on. So I've got 2 different styles of boxes that we're going to make. I've cut out the other one already, the other couple already. Just to make this not so long a video, I'm just going to grab that. Okay, just squish that down a little bit further, scooch it down a little bit. That's better. Okay, same again. Put your bone folder inside and just give that a good smush down. Okay, great. Now, if you wanted to use magnets as a closing mechanism on this, you can do it, and then you would need another piece of paper to go on the inside. So you put your magnet, glue your magnet on, then put your paper over the top so it doesn't move, and then you're going to have to line up your other magnet down here. So you want to, if you're going to put a magnet on, you want to put that magnet in before you put your front or back piece on. And yeah, so you'll need an extra piece for here if you're going to do that. So now we're going to do our front and back. So our front and back measures 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. So this one I'm going to put on the front. I think I need to fill up my glue bottle again. Okay, let's put put this one on here. Let's just square it up a little bit. It's a little bit far over that side. Over here. That's better. So once again, we're going to grab our bone folder, pop it inside, and give it a squish down so that it gets really good contact. I'm going to put our back piece on. Whoops. Sorry if that noise annoys anybody. Necessary evil at the moment. Okay, that's our back. Do the same with it. We're going to pop it down here. We're going to smush that on. So that is essentially our box created. But where did I put those? I know I've got them here. I'm going to use a hook and loop, I think they're called. I know I have them here because I can't get it out. Yes, there they are. So these are the Couture Creations hook and loop. They're just Velcro dots basically. So I'm going to grab a Velcro dot. Oops, come off my finger, please. I'm going to grab two of them that are together. And I'm going to put it, center it on the inside of the lid, like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close the box lid. So I know they're in the right spot. And take my bone folder and just give them a really good rub down so that the sticky glue they've got on the back of them really adheres to what you've got there. Let's give that another one. Okay, so there we go. Now we have a closure on our box and it's in the right spot. So let's have a look at making some. So this is essentially our first box. This box was designed a little bit differently to the other two boxes that I've got here today. That's why I wanted to show you this one, but I'd also like to show you the next box. Because these last two are sort of created the same, just different measurements. So I'm going to put that out of the way for a moment and bring over these two. So let me grab my paperwork so I can have a look. And I can give you all the information that you need. Small. So this is our small box. This is our one that's at 1 inch wide. Now, like our last one, don't know what I did there. So this is our top. So this is the top of the box, and this is our flap. This is the back of the box. Yes, there is one extra line in here. Don't worry about that. I buggered it up. This is the bottom of our box. Side. And this little flap is this is a tab that's going to join it all together. Okay, and this is our front. So your scoring, to make this box you are going to need a piece of paper that measures 8.5 by 7.5. Where did I put the working out for this one? Yep, 8.5 by 7.5. Yep. Okay, so I just had to read my own handwriting for a minute. So you're going to make a box. You need a piece of paper that is 8.5 by 7.5. On the 8.5 side, you're going to score at 3, 4, 7, and 8 inches. On the 7.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1, 5, and 6 inches. And then I haven't got one here with me right now, but I will do up a diagram for how to cut them out. I've got one here. Which is okay, so this is the pattern for this small box. So you're going to cut out the 2 squares here, the top square here, the top square here, and the 2 squares here. You're going to cut up these these lines here. You're going to cut out those lines, and then you're going to cut out these lines. So they're all got to be cut out, and this square here has got to come off as well. So essentially we now have, this is our template. So what we're going to do, first of all, we're going to join the front of our box using our tab. Let's just put some, you can just see what I've done there. So I don't know whether you can see it. Just here, I've left part of the score line there. I don't want that bit of score line there at all because it will make it harder for everything to fold up later on. So make sure you're cutting out those score lines pretty well. Okay, now we'll add a bit more glue and we'll go ahead with what we're doing. Now you could essentially put this tab on the inside if you wanted to. I didn't do that. I haven't even tried that, to be honest with you. It wasn't something that I even thought about too much until just then. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just join them together. I'm just going to put my bone folder in. Just add some pressure to that front. I think the only reason why I didn't really think about it was because I knew that I was going to be covering up with some design paper. I don't think I've got that on there very, very well, actually. That hasn't come across far enough. That's okay. I'll just re-glue it. See, I make all the mistakes so you don't have to. I didn't have that squared up inside there very well. So, and it has taken away a little bit of the box, but that's okay. So I'm just going to fold it on that line and bring this over. And then we're going to smush that tab down. That's better. So the top wasn't quite joining the way that it should. And I'm just going to smush these score lines again because they're a bit tight. So now we're going to poke these 2 inside. Actually, no, we're not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to poke this one in and I'm going to glue the 2 tabs onto here. So if I was to put the 2 tabs inside, we wouldn't get a really flat bottom. So by putting the putting the flap down and putting these 2 tabs on the side in, we will get it'll be easier to get things in and out. Nothing can get caught on it. So just a bit of glue. Push that one on. Push that one on. And now I'm just going to put my bone folder inside. And make sure they get really good contact. And then we're going to glue our base piece. And once again, we're going to put our bone folder inside and smush that down. Pop them in, pop them over, and that's essentially our box made for this second one. So once you start doing these, it's quite a quick process. You could make quite a few at one time if you wanted to, if you had it all set up like that. So the measurements for the design paper on these is actually nearly the same as what it was for our other box. In terms of the front and the back are the same size. So the front and the back are 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. This way. So the front and back 3 7/8 by 2 7/8. The sides though this time are, did I put measurements on here? Yes, I did. So the sides for this one are 3 7/8 by 7/8. So they'll fit on here like so. To make my mind up which side I like better. So they're the two side pieces, and here we have our top and our flap. So the top is 7/8 by 2 7/8. That'll go on there. Maybe that one, not sure. And then our flap is 2 7/8 by 2 5/8. So once again, I'm just going to round these corners a little bit. I have left this, that's the bottom piece, that's why. So yeah, so this is our flap. I like it this way better. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to round those corners so they match our box. Now let's start putting these bits together. Move this out the way. I will in the blog, over on the blog site with Couture Creation, I will have all the directions for you over there to be able to complete this project, and I'll have the I'll have all the patterns there for the 3 different sizes that we have. These boxes. So I'm just going to pop this flap on first. Oops. Okay, let's do this. I'm just going to sit that up there like that. Back up to the score line. Give that a bit of a smush. Okay. Now let's do with the top of our box. I've got that here. Which one do I prefer? That one or this one? No, I think I like this one. So let's put our top on. That was a good trick. Let's center that on there. Give it a good smush. Just wipe up this bit of glue before I get it everywhere. Okay, now let's work on the front and back. So now I've got to decide, yeah, I want this one to be the front. Okay, put our front piece on. Okay, so now that that's on, I'm just going to open up my box again, lay it with that front piece down on the desk, and I'm just going to grab my bone folder and push inside there just to make sure it's got a good hold. Okay, I'm going to do the same with this back piece. Goes that way. So once again, we'll put our glue on. Okay, do the same on the back. Just center it on there. There we go. Flip it over, put our bone folder in and smush it down. Now we want this bottom piece. I'm going to put this bottom piece on next. Look, you don't have to cover your bottom if you don't want to. I don't always do the bottoms. But for this little box, I really like the idea of having the bottom covered as well. And the same will apply with this one as the last one. When it comes to doing your closure, if you're going to use, if you're going to use a magnet, you'll need to cut an extra piece for here, so that you can glue your magnet on and put the bit of paper on it, to the other bit of designer paper on there, to keep it nice and looking good. And it'll keep the magnet in place for you as well. So, and you'll want to put your magnet on this side before you put your paper down. So now we're going to do our sides. I'm still going to stick with the navy blue. Yeah. Such a hard choice with this Blues by You. It's such a pretty paper. I'll grab it in a minute when I've finished doing this box, and I'll just show you some of the papers that are in it. It's just a beautiful collection. And it's nice to have some blues for a change. We've had lots of greens and browns and pinks recently. Okay, that's one side done. Let's get our other side done. Okay. And that extra score line that I had on this is now covered up. You can't see my mistakes. Okay, so I might just round these. I might use my small one, see if I can round these little corners on the inside of the box. Okay, so let's just round them off. Okay, so this is our small box. So we've done our small box, we've done our medium-sized box, and wait, there's more. We've got this large size box. Look, I'm going to say to you, I'm not going to make the large box on camera today because it'll make the video too long. But it is exactly the same as this one, just that the measurements are slightly different. I will have the measurements for all three of these boxes on the Couture Creations blog site. So pop over there. I'm not sure what day this will actually be going up on the site, but once it comes up on the site, you'll be able to have a go at that. Now, something I did want to show you before we went, and I have some different measurements for it. So I made these little envelopes just from some photocopy paper, and the measurements for this little envelope is 6 3/4 by 4 inches. On the long side, which the long side will be this one here, because it'll be 6 3/8 long, you're going to score at 1 inch, 4 inch, and 6 1/4 inch. That'll give you this little tab inside, so it just thickens that edge. Sorry, let me move that out of the way. It'll just thicken up the edge of this a little bit, just to make it not so flimsy. But we're going to actually make some, I'm going to do one card with you today. Let me get this out. I think this is the one. And I'll give you the measurements. So that's the measurements for these little things. We are going to do a couple of things with these as we go along. So I'm going to get my stamp platform out. I've already stamped the sentiment inside for this, but what I want to do also, on the inside of this, so let's just put this up. So I'm going to put it at 3 inches. So that'll be the top of my piece. I'm going to leave that one over there. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take my Blues by You vintage corner stamp. Just get this out. Such a pretty stamp, this one. And I might have to move this over a little bit to get it in the spot that I want it. There we go. Let's turn this around. So I'm just going to put that where I want it. And then I'm going to close my stamp press and open it back up again. and this will still be in the same spot when I go to use it. So I'm just using the Couture Creations Stamp and Colour Outline ink pad. This is in the black. Make sure you give it a little bit of loving on that stamp. I've only used it a couple of times at the moment, so let's tip this over. And I also brought myself one of these. It's called a Baron, and because I have a little bit of problems with my hands sometimes, it just helps to put even pressure onto your stamp pad, onto any stamp really. So that's the first bit that I'm going to do. So that's nice. Second bit I'm going to do is on this corner. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'll do it up here as well. Okay. Okay. Now just going to pick up our stamp again. Whoops. Nowhere. Helps if you press down on it, Fiona. Move that over a little bit. Yep. And once again, we're just going to grab our ink. And if I wanted to make the idea of putting it into this stamp press means to say that if the ink is not as dark as I want it, I can actually go back in and re-ink it and do it again. So we have that on the inside of both of our card. I haven't finished with the cards yet. So on the, I don't know whether this will fit. No, it's going to be in a different spot. So let's get this one done. I'm going to put these down here and one up here. So I'm going to put the same thing again. I'm going to put this on the corner on the back. It doesn't matter that there's already a little bit of ink on there because I know that's going to go back in exactly the same spot. So re-ink our stamp, flip it over, push it down, and there we go. It's perfectly stamped. Now this time we're going to move these around and we're going to put this way. Doesn't matter if it gets a little bit on there. Okay, there's that. And I think I might do, measure 3, no. That would work there. So I'm just going to put this into place. I'm going to do one on this front piece in the right-hand corner, or sorry, left-hand corner. Top left-hand corner, I should say. Top left-hand corner. Use this one, and then I'm going to put it on the right bottom corner. And look, you don't have to do this. This is just purely decorative. I mean, there's lots of other things I could have done with this. I could have actually still made them out of the photocopy paper, and then I could have done a decorative cutout in the corners, or I could have added some of the matching designer paper into it. All of those types of things could be done with this. So now I'm just going to grab a bit of water, spray on top of here, and pick up the ink and just make sure that my stamp's clean again. Okay, I'll pop it back in its little case. And that's what we did with this one. Now we're going to take a look at, pop this out the way. I'm sure you all know how to put a sentiment inside inside a piece of white card. So the measurements for our card are 5 centimeters long. Sorry, 5 inches long by 3.5 inches tall. Okay, and then I've just scored it at 2.5, and that's given us our 2.5 by 3.5 inch card base. So let me switch that down a bit. Okay, so then you want your mirror card. So this is a Couture Creations one. It's got like some textured lines in it. I really quite like this one. And it's 3.5 by 2.5. So it's going to exactly fit on the front of your card. But what I'm going to do this time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this away from it. I'm not going to put it on the card front yet. So I've got a piece of navy card from Couture Creations. It's 3 3/8 by 2 3/8, and I'm just going to glue this first to this mirror card. Now you will need to be careful not to get your glue squish outside of this onto the mirror card. That's why I like the art glue, because I don't need much of it and it has a great effect. We're just wanting to center that onto the base. I'm just going to give that a bit of a smush with my bone folder. Because I use one of these bottles, you can also get some great little nibs from Couture Creation, which are these, which also go on to these all-purpose art glue bottles. This one's a 240ml bottle. Best way to buy it. And then I just decant it into smaller containers because I have a few problems with my hands. So I could go with that. I'm not really happy with that. I might go with this one. Maybe not. This one. I really think this should have something else behind it again, but for today we're not going to worry about that. And basically I'm just going to glue this piece onto the front. Our card. Just sort of eyeball it and center it on there. Oh, excuse me. So now I'm going to take some tear tape, double-sided tear tape, and I'm just going to put some tape on this. Oh, I better put my scissors. I don't know. I'll grab these ones instead. So I'm just going to put this across the back. This is quite a strong tape. This is the Couture Creations one as well. And this one's 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, something like that. Just going to put the 3 pieces on. Just going to get my little weeding tool, pull off these bits that we don't need. Oops, there goes my finger. So now we're going to line this up and pop it on the front of our card. Okay, that fits beautifully. Look, you can embellish these however you want. I've used the ephemera pack out from Couture Creations. So this is their ephemera pack for the Blues by You. This piece has come out of one. But they've got so many different choices that you could use. Some beautiful little frames, windows. Windows are very popular in this one. Some beautiful decorative corners. A blue frame. Some little bird cages. Some flowers. And there's lots of little sentiment types in this one too, which is really nice. And all in different colours. Yeah, very, very usable pack, this one. Sometimes I don't use a lot of ephemera, 99% of the time, unless I've actually made it myself. But this pack I seem to be liking a lot and using a lot of it in this whole process that I've done. Okay, so now our little card is ready to go inside our envelope. Slop that in there. fits in there beautifully. And I've done, how many did I do? So this is one. I haven't stamped on all of these yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far. And that's into this middle-sized box. You could probably do 12 into it. I will show you some other things, though, what I did with these. So this one was, in my last video, I was playing around with the, what are they called? Winkles glitter pens. I've got them over there. Hold on a minute. I'll just grab them so I can show you what I'm talking about, if you have not seen them yet. Oh, where did I put those? Give me 2 seconds, guys. So far there has been 12 that have come out. But there is supposed to be another 12 colours coming out. So this was our Winkles glitter markers. So with this one I used the orange and the bronze, I believe it was. Oh, that's gold. Where's the bronze? This one, I think. No, a bit brown. So this one, so this was a champagne bronze, and this was an orange, and that's what I used to create these butterflies. And I liked the fact that when you put this bronze over the top, it gives you that slightly grungier type of look. Apart from, and I just used one of the sentiments out of the pack. So that was that card. So I'm just going to show you what other ones I've got in here. Like I said, I haven't quite finished playing with all of these. And this time I've used this one. So this butterfly was done with just the bronze, that champagne bronze, and it's gorgeous. Like I don't know whether you can see all that sparkle that comes with that. And then I've just put them on, and I've just trimmed off the edges as I've gone. So I just thought I'd show you the other cards that I've made. So I did this one as well. See how I put just a note, and then so that was one of the sentiments out of that Hello Blues by You stamp and die set. There you go. It's Missing You was another one that was in there. I just sort of decided to make a few cards that were for sort of a few different occasions. I could have also easily have left them blank as well, and happy surprises and a thank you card. I probably will make some of them maybe little birthday cards perhaps. But like I said, I'll show you these inside this package. And this is with 6 of them in, and I'm sure you could easily get 12 of them in. So the other side of this was, so the white card bases for this, when you make this size box, you'll get, here we go, we'll have all of these as scrap. So what I have done is I have used this scrap to create these other cards. You still get a little bit of leftover, but essentially this is what you'll have left over, and you'll be able to create some cards out of those bits that you've got. I hope that's been helpful. And so today we have made this box. Oops, I didn't put my little Velcro dot on it yet, but I will later on. And we made this box today. So the other thing that I thought of that we could put into these boxes was, like I was saying before, is trading cards. So these are cards that I've collected actually probably about 3 years ago when I first started doing art. So just a few. I love this little crow. Some people are very clever and make some beautiful stuff. So I was just going to show you, I've got one in there. Yeah. So these, you can get these, it's not really quite this plastic sleeve I was thinking of. So you can get some little plastic sleeves, these are the type I was thinking of, that are 4 inches wide by, I'm not sure what the height is, maybe 3 7/8 or something, 3.5. And they will fit nicely inside these boxes as well. Gives you a little bit of room, so if you've got some that have got a little bit of bulk like these, or like what's the other one of these I've got. So this one's made out of some what do they call that foam, that it's like a foam type stuff that you buy from the cheap stores and that, but it was just really pretty. So this one is actually a material one, and they've stamped on the back, and they've used material to create their scrap. I'd say it's just a bit of scrap material that they've had when they've been making other things, and just made an artistic ATC out of it to share with somebody else. And I really do love this idea. I think it's absolutely great. Well, that's me for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this. I'll make sure all of the directions, all of the cutting stuff is all done and put in onto the blog site. Like I said, I'm not sure when this will go up. It could be in May, I'm going to say, sometime in May. But have a great day, and thanks for joining me again. Bye.